Farmer's Tip is brought to you by DiStefano Hair Restoration. Check him out at drdistefano.com. All right, Bomber, what's our tip for you today?
The tip today is a little bit about the waggle and the forward press.
Okay, let's talk about waggle. What is a waggle?
A waggle, well, what people see a waggle is when they get somebody addresses the ball and they start wiggling their hands around.
Do you waggle?
So call it a wiggle, right?
I do a waggle and I do a little tap.
Tap, tap, tap.
Waggle with a tap.
Yeah.
Tap, tap, tap's good on the putting, actually. Tap, tap, tap. It's a trigger. So a lot of it is a trigger, really, to set it off, set the whatever happens off, right? There's all kinds of things can go on once you go, but specifically, as every movement in the golf swing is precise and spot on, if you need to be really good at this game. True?
True. Right. I would agree with that.
So the proper waggle with the hands is actually a mini backswing. Mm-hmm. So if you notice my hands when they waggle, basically you can just see what's going on. And this comes back from earlier lessons.
Right.
That we need that right hand in a bent condition. Mm-hmm. So that's my waggle. And all I'm doing really is bending my right wrist.
Okay.
Which is also training my hands as to how I want them to go back. So now you can see, Chris, from where you are, when I do that, it kind of looks like it's going outside a little bit, don't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now you played competitive golf in college. You know,
I did.
Did they talk about waggles or that kind of stuff when they were?
We didn't have any waggles. Our coach said,
Archie?
"What are you doing?"
Archie Boulay.
Archie Boulay.
I knew
he was
Archie.
the coach for 45 years, so he was.
Yeah.
What the heck are you doing? He'd yell at us.
That's how I'm becoming. I'm becoming like that, actually.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's
so,
good.
but also, so the right hand bending and the waggle again is training. That's how I want my hands to work on the backswing, and if I just carried that on, you can just see it just sets them right in the perfect condition.
Okay.
So when the right wrist bends, it's actually cocking the left wrist. So once I get that position there, it's just actually just driving that up to my backswing, wherever that be.
So the trigger mechanism here, just like in anything else, is really getting you into that proper position to then execute the shot.
Angles and alignments. This is a critical one. So what most golfers do, you'll see the waggle.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you'll see them go. In Chris's case, he has a tap, tap, tap.
Oh, you got the foot tap.
The foot tap.
Foot tap, so
Foot
not
tap.
the club. All right. Dancing.
I do a little dancing.
So anyway, all right. So now from there, right. So there's my waggle, right?
Yeah.
I'm just training my hands. That's what I wanted to do on the backswing. And then there's the forward press, right? So now you get set. I've done my waggle. Now the forward press kind of looks like that.
Right.
Now, an exaggerated forward press is actually to there.
Right.
And what is that, Steve? You've seen that picture before. That's impact.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the impact.
So the forward press is actually giving my brain the picture of what I want impact to look like. Mm-hmm. So, see my hands move forward, which is really them moving into impact. Because as we know, all good golfers, when they hit a golf ball, their hands are to the left of the ball at impact. True?
True. Yeah.
So that becomes where the waggle gets in. So you got the waggle and the forward press. So all of that is a precise, seems simple little things, right? But
Right.
they're precise, they're spot on. Training the backswing, the waggle, and the forward press is training my brain to show me where impact is.
All right. So I'm on the range. I'm getting ready, and I'm working on this. How do I know I'm doing it correctly?
You always ask the question. Every time, everything, and that's a good question. Because, I instruct the student
Right.
deciphers and applies, hopefully. Sometimes in the deciphering, it gets mixed up. And I had a student like that, and I mean, always know exactly what I'm saying, But
Right. That's the interpretation.
the
From
interpretation,
the
and
student.
he went off, and he was one of these guys that hits a lot of balls, and he did it for like a week, not the way it needed to be done.
Right. So yeah, which is
So he just wasted.
he's coming back to you and going.
Well, he wasted. Yeah, he wasted. No, he wasn't upset. It was his interpretation, so that's part of it. But yeah, I mean, with good instruction, again, you can just see my hands. The right wrist. If you just look at that, all I'm doing is bent. I'm taking my right wrist. I'm doing that. That's all I'm doing. There's no cocking, no turning, nothing.
Yeah, because people will do this, and we'll start to do
So
that.
they might interpret it as that, or they might look at it. See, you know what I mean? They might look at it differently. But all I'm doing, to the camera, it might even look like I'm turning my wrist, but I'm not doing that. I'm just bending my right wrist.
Right.
As the right wrist bends, it cocks the left,
All
which
right.
is this action.
So if you're taking that and you're in that position, so if you wind up feeling yourself turning it so that your palm is facing straight up, that's not what you're looking
So
at.
you know that's not.
That's not what you want, and that's kind of laying that off.
Yeah,
too.
I would exactly. So that's training a completely different backswing. See, this one's training the one that I teach. That's pretty precise and spot on, and then you can just see the hands how they work. So that piece on that side, and then here's the forward press looks like this. See,
Right. Is this one of the things that your guys in college golf pass people members are looking for in terms of instruction, being able to? Have you gotten any idea from them about maybe doing some instruction with them?
Yeah, they're definitely. It depends on the students, but a lot of them like to like we connected Bomber to the Holy
Yeah.
Cross guys.
Yeah.
Right.
And Holy Cross students, I think they did some.
Harry, I
might
love
want to do
Harry.
a group lesson, and they went to the range, and they're there hitting buckets and practicing. And I think there's a lot of instruction that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, there's those competitive players, there's those recreational players, but there's a lot of students who are new to the game
Right.
who want to learn. They have an interest, and they might want to learn as well. So I think there's definitely opportunities for instruction and help that's needed.
Right. And you can get Bomber at JimmyBombardGolfLessons.com. You're still down there at East Coast and working down there consistently. My brother went to you.
he did.
He did, and unfortunately, it was right before we actually had a match.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
but actually he's playing better now, and it's all because of
hiccup.
you. And I hope he continues to play better. We got 1 minute
Yeah.
left to go. When we come back, we're going to talk about the myth. Right? You got a myth?
I don't know myths this week. No.
No myths
myths
this week.
No. Didn't bring
No
any with
myths
me.
this week, but
No,
we'll
it was
talk
just my
about
tip. One or the other.
maybe the myth of what the caddy's supposed to be doing.
I can talk about that for a while.
That's
I
it.
got some
We'll
good
talk-
I got some good caddy stuff.
I used to be a caddy too.
Used to be a caddy.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
talk about Bubba Watson and his caddy, and will he get fired? But you saw Bubba Watson down there. Was his caddy with him?
He was.
At the CVS Charity Classic. He was there. We'll also talk about Ken Duke, who I applaud the perseverance of Ken Duke in being able to win on the PGA Tour at the age of 44. We'll be back and we'll talk more about golf and everything else with Wicked Good Golf Show right after this.